Let's begin here at the SAR. Reports of ethnic killings and atrocities continue to surface in Sudan. In a statement, the United said it is gravely concerned about military escalation in Fasher in North Darfur state. For months now, Fasher and the surrounding areas in North Darfur have been an epicenter of suffering, with hundreds of thousands of civilians trapped by a tightening siege by the rapid support forces and with malnutrition, disease and violence claiming lives daily. For more on this worrying situation, now we speak to Naba Mohiedeen, SABC News correspondent. Naba, very good evening to you and thank you so much for your time. Quite chilling to hear some people describe what is taking place on the ground, with some saying that it looks like a killing field. What is the latest?
Thank you. Actually, yes, the situation there cannot be even described. Horrific crimes against humanity, against unarmed civilians going on in Fasher city. Just on Tuesday, late Tuesday, the RSF militia committed a new genocide against people there in a new massacre. They killed more than 460 people in the Saudi hospital, the only operating hospital in Fasher that was holding out for more than 17 months. So the situation is still very fragile, and people there are still can't even get a way to escape the violence. There is a lot of warnings by UN agencies and by the international community, and they are calling for the RSF to secure safe passages for those who want to flee, but unfortunately the RSF is targeting civilians on ethnically driven killings and on ethnic basis. So the situation there, it's really catastrophic, and it needs a concrete and urgent action by everyone to stop this bloodbath.
And Naba, as you speak about this, right, the attack on the hospital, there's also, of course, concern when it comes to women and children. And then at the same time, you listen to some of the doctors on the ground describing how children are malnourished. And at the same time, they're seeing some women who they also are alleging that they have been sexually violated.
Yes, actually not because of the recent attack by the RSF that they controlled the city after this violent attack. For more than 17 months, women were targeted, not only in Fasher but in the Sudanese war. Sexual violence was used as a weapon. This is verified, documented, and also the reports there are documented from different UN agencies, from domestic and regional organizations. They confirm that women has been, most of the Sudanese women have been, of course, very vulnerable to many crimes, including sexual violence, abduction, and different kind of abuses. In Fasher particularly, after RSF controlled the city of Fasher, we saw and verified a lot of videos shared by militants of the militia itself. They were proudly showing that they are killing women, they are abducting women. Women are, the bodies of women are piling up in the roads of Fasher. Children are also targeted by this ethnic cleansing. So yes, women are one of the victims and one of the worst and ugliest sides of the Sudanese war, especially in Fasher. They are targeted by the militia. They are sexually abused if they are not killed by the militia. So the situation is really beyond catastrophic and needs all of the rights groups and international organizations to stop this bloodbath and also to protect civilians that are not killed by the RSF militia up to now.
Yeah, and as you say, of course, you know, it's one thing to condemn, but it is another to have a coordinated response to, you know, this catastrophe that you are describing on the ground, because even the WHO, for example, saying that it condemns what is currently taking place on the ground, but condemnation in and itself is not enough. Something needs to give.
Yes, of course, condemnation is not enough, but also condemnation is appreciated because amid the silence, the white silence of international community for a long time, and its inability to convince or to push enough on the RSF to stop the besiege of Fasher city, the siege of a city that has been besieging for more than 17 months. Then we saw that this city was under control of the RSF, so it was expected. The condemnation is not enough, but at least it's an action, and it sheds light on the Sudanese crisis and the Sudanese people who needs to talk about, who needs any media or any attention to speak about this crisis. On the ground, people are not expecting anything, but right now the humanitarian aid is needed, especially for people who succeeded in arriving in relative safe places like Tawila town in western Fasher. There is more than 850 families arrived there, and people are still trying to escape. So what is needed right now, condemnation, pushing on the RSF to stop the atrocities and violations against civilians and to stop the bloodbath, and also to make sure that there is safe passages for people who want to flee, and in the same time to deliver humanitarian aid to vulnerable families in Tawila town, in other cities and towns around the Fasher city.
Naba, appreciate that update, and as you say, it's going to be quite important to create those safe passages, but also at the same time for the aid to reach those people who desperately so need it. Thank you so much for that update, and really, as you say, there has been some silence on this particular matter, and this story has been ongoing for months now, with the atrocities really just needing to be cast in the spotlight. And my colleague there, Naba Mohiedeen, SABC News correspondent, live for us in Khartoum.